Alright, so in Elden Ring, there are 8 attributes to consider every time you level up. So in this video, I'm going to give you a bit of a guide on what each of these attributes are, and maybe where to put some points in the beginning of the game if you are new to Soulsborne style games. Vigor. Vigor is a measurement of your overall health and resistances. The higher your Vigor, the higher your health pool is. Although Vigor doesn't directly influence incoming damage like Endurance does, it still saves you at times from being killed in 1 or 2 shots. Boosting your Vigor to at least 20 is crucial for beginners. But if you are an experienced Soulsborne player, this stat is less essential until later on in this game. Endurance. Endurance is an attribute that affects both your overall stamina and robustness. The higher your endurance, the higher your stamina pool is, and the higher your equip load is, thus meaning you can wield heavier weapons, shields, and armor pieces. Each item has a set amount of weight, and the higher your character's equip load is, the less penalty you'll have for equipping heavier gear. This also means that when you're blocking, you can take more hits before you break your guard. Having endurance at 20 is crucial for beginners again. If you're going to be one more for hand-to-hand combat as opposed to being a mage, then boosting endurance is a must. Mind. Mind is a measurement of your focus points and also boosts some resistances to effects like sleep and madness. The blue meter at the top of your left screen is your focus meter, which in turn is basically your mana/magic pool. The higher your mind attribute is, the more or bigger spells you'll be able to cast before having to refill your focus bar with a flask. This stat is a must for all spellcasters, but is less important for more warrior-based roles in the early stages. Strength. Strength is an attribute to wield heavy weapons and affects your overall physical defense. If you want to wield massive weapons like Cloud's Greatsword from Final Fantasy VII, this stat is going to be the one that you're going to focus on. You're going to want to determine in the early stages of playing what playstyle you're going to want to main with. So putting points early in strength is a good idea if you know what kind of weapons you want to use. Dexterity. Dexterity is an attribute that also allows you to yield more advanced weapons while also influencing fall damage, your ability to get knocked off your mount, and how fast you can cast spells. You'll come across weapons like scimitars and other small armaments that require something like 12 dexterity, in addition to having 8 strength and or 12 arcane. These come in a variety of combinations and seem to be more common with dexterity based weapons. Intelligence. Intelligence is an attribute that affects your ability to cast more spells and higher level sorceries while giving you the ability to yield certain armaments. But it is also attributed to your overall magic resistance. If you want to be a spellcaster yielding a staff that uses more magic-based spells like Soul Beam or Gravity Bomb, this is more your style as opposed to Faith. Faith is an attribute that affects your ability to cast sacred incantations, while also boosting your damage with incantations like fire, holy, or lightning. Holy magic kills the undead with ease, while both fire and lightning magic are both very powerful as well. Having some points in Faith early game grants you the ability to cast healing during or after a heavy fight that consumes a lot of your flasks. Arcane. Arcane is an attribute that affects your ability to discover rare items on the map from fallen enemies, while also boosting your vitality and holy defense. But in addition to these features, Arcane grants you the ability to use some of the coolest spells and weapons in the game. Some of these weapons being heavily tied with bleed builds and other special damage types, whereas the sorcery scaling abilities use dragon magic. So some key points if you're going to start a new character: make sure to add 20 points to Vigor and Endurance if you are new to Soulsborne style games. Definitely put points in mind if you're going to be a spellcaster. Figure out what playstyle you want to use: strength, dexterity, intelligence, or faith. Knowing this early game will really help you on for later on to make you the most effective you can be.